Okay, welcome. Today we're going to receive PO number 1084 coming from Harper, as you can see on the screen here, and shipping to American Terms GO. So we got item numbers or part numbers, descriptions, how many to expect, price and quantities. And so we are going to receive this. And do keep in mind, receiving is used to update the warehouse with goods received from the vendor on a purchase order. Typically, we'll get the information with a packing slip, manifest information, but today we are going to just look at the process on how to receive product into the warehouse. Now, please keep in mind and make a note that there's a two-step process. It requires you to enter the purchase order, receipt, and then post it, the inventory, or update the inventory to the warehouse. So here we go. It's purchase order 1084. Let's open up the ERP1 system. Now, if this is your first time, let's just do a little navigation thing real quick. So over here I can type in, let's just see if I want to look at my PO. So let's go POE, and it's going to come up. I'm going to enter my PO number 1084. Maybe. There we go. And I can look at my PO. There's the lines, 3 lines, same as you saw earlier. So, but that's not what we're going to work at today. So close this until I can reprint so you can just see it on the screen. Remember, we're looking at the two-step process just to receive to the system. There's also a gun program to receive. You can see there's my items and stuff I'm going to receive in. So now I'm going to go to the purchase order, purchase order, receiving, inventory, receipt screen, and I can get there a couple of ways. I can type in PORCV, which is my run code, and there it is. Now keep in mind, if I use this screen a lot, you can see there it is also. So I can find it here, and then I can also find it. There's a navigation menu here for receiving. There it is again. So I also can find it POCR under receiving. There it is. So purchasing, receiving, POCR. So now I'm here, and let's just say I don't know my PO number, which we do know our PO number, but I also want to bring out, if you're having to search for things, you press F1, hit the go button here, and you can sort this, and you click that sorting by just clicking the PO, you can click the vendor. Now, there it is, 1084. I can double click here. It's going to enter 1084 there and hit enter. Okay. Now it's going to bring up receiving options. Now you get a couple options here. Open only line items, which is going to only open lines on the PO will list. Now the other option here, all line items, shows all line items that have not been received previously. And then this option here, default quantity 0 and quantity open. When you look at this here, defaults, the quantity 0 defaults the line items to 0 quantity received. You'll have to manually type them. What I've got it set to is quantity open. I just tell it, hey, when you open this up, to go ahead and enter in the quantity, which is okay. Now, if you don't like this, you just let me know which way you prefer, and I can change it. We can change it in the system for you. Okay, so hit OK. As you can see, with those options done, it went ahead and typed in the 1,000 and the 500. And it left this item right here with no quantity. We put it on a back order. That's going to come up in just a second, because the deal with this item is that it's a location item, and you can put it on a location. And it's going to go through that step. But first, we're going to say we received 1,000 of those, 500 of those. Or I could even type in the quantity here. I can say instead of 1,000, 500. All right. And then the next one, 250. When I go to this next one, it's going to open up another screen, and it's going to say, hey, It's there's a lot. If the item is lot controlled and located after entering the received quantity, it's going to come up and say, "Hey," and you want to change the location. It's going to give you an option to do that. All right. So here it is. This is the PO receiving location. I can tell it to receive to the dock. I can receive it to a location. If I don't know the location, I can press F1. I'm going to put A1 as my location. And tag quantity, I'm going to do all 200. Still need a tag right there. And new. Then I'm going to hit save. Alright. I'm going to move it over here. It tells me how many is available. Quantity each. And if you're entering into two different locations, you can enter the quantity to be received in the first location and lot information. Click save. Click another location, enter the remaining quantity. Fill in the rest of the information and save next. So you could do that process again. So you could have done like another location, but I went ahead and did all of them. So save, exit, and then it takes you back to this script. Now, if any of these items are on a PO or linked to a sales order, you'll see that quantity right down here in red. Just so you want to know, it doesn't show me here on this one, but hey, it does do that. Now, okay, so just a couple things to note down here. If I hit accept, that's going to go ahead and accept it and start the receipt process. But you could do add, which allows you to add additional items. I could add another item to that if I wanted to. I could delete an item. I could print the labels. I don't probably have any labels, so I probably shouldn't have done. Let's just see if it'll print anything. Okay, I don't have anything to print. All right, I can do notes. Notes, add. This is easy. Save that. It'll show up on order entry. Exit. Now, so I can do notes. I can do I can look up an inquiry, inventory inquiry. So it puts me on the screen here, which you've got so many options there, which is great if you want to do an inquiry on that item, or so like say take this item and let's see, do we have this item in stock? We have this on hand. All right, so that takes you to that location. You can also right click and drill to item inquiry. That's also an option. All right, you can also copy fields, send to Excel. That is an option. And so I can show you that at a later time, but just to continue on the process of receiving. Now you can do add-ons. Let's do add-on code. We'll do freight, and the freight was $1,500 just to get that here. So now I've got that in there. Oh yeah, if you had any problems or discrepancies, you can damage material, quantity, which I didn't have any, so you know what, let's go ahead and let's do 5 of these. All right. Yeah, okay, just to see if it shows up on the report later. There you go. All right, now when you're done with that piece and you check everything, or you sometimes need to add one because it came in on the thing on the shipment and it wasn't there, so you can click add and add that item in if you want to. All right, so the second part of this is to post the receipt to the warehouse, and you got run allocation from warehouse, print, pick tickets, and print post report. I'm going to click that. So run allocation means, hey, this will allocate the receipt to any open back orders. Run allocation from warehouse means we'll also allocate stock found in the warehouse unrelated to this product. Print pick tickets. This will allow you to print the pick tickets if anything was allocated. Post report. This will allow you to print out a report of what we received with location detail, lot information, etc. This is checked. One thing, I did this again I'm going to go back and look at it. So now that takes me to this screen right here, and I can do, I'm going to do this to screen. So it shows me my items. I hit OK, and it gives me this report. This one doesn't say, I had some damages, so we're going to try to find those damages here in a minute. But this will complete the second step in this process of receiving this. So I'm going to hit close that. It's going to say, okay, post and register done. And then you could go look and see that, hey, I don't have any picking slips, but you could go look at that inventory and see that it was received. So let's just try that. All right, so we'll try that. We'll go up here and look to see WAINQ 5432111 is my item number, and I'm going to look at the transaction history for that item number. So there's our PO 1084. I wonder if I can drill to. I'm not sure what that gives me, but you can see there's an option there. Let's just see what that does show. Okay. Back to the inventory inquiry. You can see there's my PO, the date, and quantity received. What it's not showing me, and hopefully I'll find it here in a minute, would be the damaged quantities. So it says it's 500, but I put in 5 as damage, so hopefully I'll find that in a minute. Now let's look at some reporting options that go along with this. The first reporting option, which we probably should have ran first, which is the open purchase orders, and let's just look at them. So I'm not going to change anything here. I'm just going to take the purchase order report and just look at all of them. You know, we had looked at 1084, and there's our total POs, PO numbers, 1031, and you can see you can actually export this to Excel. Send to Excel, and it'll take all this data for you out there. And it's just simply giving you what is on the open purchase orders. Now let's look at another reporting feature, RWS, which is receiving worksheets. Now I messed up, and I should have ran this first, and you'll see why in a second. So there's my 1084. Let's open this. We'll use 1084. So it is there. I'm going to go back over here. Oops. RWS. And I'm going to go 1084. 1084. Now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to do receiving worksheet. And let's see what. Okay. It may not. There we go. Screen. And there it is. So that's one of the reports you can get out of there. All right, so let's look at another one. Let's look at UPC receiving sheet. Probably going to look very similar. All right. So you can see you got multiple. Let's just pick one more and then keep moving on. Item receiving sheet. And let's see what that one looks like. Yeah, if you had not noticed, that third item's missing from there, so that's okay. There's my item receiving sheet. Okay, now one more is let's look at the reporting information we can get for POs that have been received. So PO REC, and we're going to do 1084 and do a review here. Like I said, you can export the stuff to Excel. So let's just really, I'm going to put this right over here real quick, and then let's see here. One received. There's my first line item. So, all right, let's try. I think let's do. Normally you would hit Excel, but I'm going to do clipboard. Paste. and that would push that out to Excel. Let me show you what that looks like. And now you've got it into Excel. Right. Okay, so like I say, this was a really quick two-step process of getting the inventory received in and in against the system. And there are multiple ways to print things out. So those are the 3 reporting things for purchase orders I went over. Take a look at this. I know you're probably going to have questions and stuff. That's okay. Just remember, this is to show you the process. It's not it's just to show you, hey, this is the new system. This is the way the 2 processes are set up. And, one of the steps we didn't look at either is that in the RF units or the gun unit, there is a receive the PO. And what is the, okay, so I can receive it here, right? That's already received to date. Let's do 500 units. Okay, and then I've received to date 250, so let's do another 250. Okay, and exit. And the reason they're fully received now is because I finished those out. All right, so thank you for your time and enjoy.